We're going to go over 8 steps that make up a powerful trading formula. Guys, I will tell you, this formula changed my trading life. Now, I didn't get it from anywhere. It just evolved through my search for truth in the markets over time. But when these 8 things finally came together, my trading, guys, I want you to understand, my trading took on this consistency like never before. Because I finally had a system, I finally had a formula to follow, a blueprint that never changes. It's the same 8 steps every single time. It doesn't matter what's going on. It doesn't matter if it's raining outside, storming outside. It doesn't matter if the market's up or down. It doesn't matter if it's Monday or Friday or Wednesday. It doesn't matter if you're trading stocks or bonds or options. It's the same 8 steps, And I'm telling you, if you can make sure you follow every trade you take, you make sure that you are following these 8 steps in order, you're going to bring a consistency and a quality to your trades that you've never seen before. That I promise you. Now, let's cover these 8 steps. First, there is state. All right, try to get these words down. Take a snapshot of the screen. This is your presentation. You can do anything with this you want. You can share it. You can take a snapshot. You can take a photo. This is yours, okay? State, position, power, entry, stop, color change, which we just talked about, profit take, let it ride, okay? State, we actually touched upon state, but we're going to do it again. Position, we're going to touch upon. Power, we already talked about power bars. Entry, protect yourself with a stop. Add on the color change. Take profits. On some, let it ride. So this is the way it works, guys. We're going to determine what the stock state is first. Is the stock in a flat state? Is the stock in a trending state? Is the stock in a wide state? So the first thing we're going to do is determine the state. The second thing we're going to do is determine what is the position of the stock in this state. Where is the stock in the state? Okay, what's the position in the state once we've identified the state? Then we're going to wait for power to emerge at the right place, like power at the 20-period moving average. So we need power at the right place. So think of this flow. We're going to determine the state of the stock first. We're going to determine where is the stock trading, what position in that state is the stock trading. We're going to wait for power to emerge at the right spot. We're going to enter appropriately. We're going to protect ourselves appropriately with a stop. We're going to add on the first color change that we get after we get in with the first buy. We're going to get in with the second buy with the color change add. We're going to take profits when it's appropriate to take profits, but not on all, on some. And then we're going to let the rest frickin' ride. And I want you to follow these 8 steps in every single trade and in the same order. So let's go. Let me try to get through, guys. I may not be able to get through all of these, but I'm going to try. All right. You know, my intentions are for me to get through. All right. So narrow states and wide states, we went over this. A narrow state is when your 20 and your 200 are relatively close together. All right, let me do this in different colors. So it's when your 200 and your 20 are relatively close together and they're relatively flat. That is your narrow state. So they're relatively close. Guys, don't be too specific with this. It's relative, okay? So relatively close together and relatively flat. A wide state is when, I'm going to do this with black here, is when your 20-period moving average has separated far away from your 20 period moving average, from your 200 period moving average. So here's your narrow state, narrow. Here is your wide state. And here is your trending state. Okay, so you've got these three states, right? Narrow, tight, narrow state. Trending state leads to wide state. And guess what happens? Eventually, we go back and repeat. This is all the market ever does. Narrow, trend, wide, wide, trend, narrow, repeat. Narrow, trend up, wide, wide, trend down, narrow, repeat. And you can go this way as well. Narrow, trend down, wide, wide, trend up, narrow, repeat. Now, guys, take a snapshot of this, because I am here to tell you that the market can do absolutely nothing else except repeat this over and over and over again. And all you have to do is be able to identify which one of the three states am I in? Am I in a narrow state? Am I in the trending state? Am I in the wide state? Am I in the trending state up, or am I in the trending state down? All right? Am I in the wide state from above, or am I in the wide state from below? Am I in the trending state to the upside from below, or am I in the trending state from the downside from above, or the downside from below? These are the only thing, this is the only picture that the market can repeat over and over and over and over again. There is nothing else you need to master. There is nothing else you need to learn. You need to learn these states. There is a style of market play that's appropriate for each one of these states. And you become a master when you know what to do in the narrow state, what to do in the trending up and the trending down, what to do in the wide up and the wide down. When you know what to do in each point or each section of this picture, you're going to gain mastery. Now, think about this. The numbers of people sloshing around in the markets today that have no concept of the overall repetitive motion of the market, how to take that repetitive motion, break it into parts, and read it in the form of states. The numbers of people out here risking their family's capital, risking their family's future, trying to make money in the markets trading. The vast majority of them do not know what I've covered with you so far. How to read a narrow state, how to read a wide state, how to read a trending state. They don't even know that the fact that markets basically trends from narrow to wide, and repeat. Up, narrow to wide up, narrow to wide down sometimes. Sometimes it's wide to the upside, sometimes it's wide to the downside. This fundamental knowledge brings the market's activity into some semblance of order for you. And so when we have tool bags for each one of these states, right? I have a tool bag for the trending state. I buy power off the 20 period moving average. I buy color changes off the 20 period moving average. That's my tool bag for trending. There's a tool bag for wide, which we're probably not going to talk much about today. There's a tool bag for trending down. There's a tool bag for trending up. There's a tool bag for narrow state. And when you have each one of these tool bags, now you know, okay, I'm trending up. I pulled the trending up tools out of it. Fat bars off the 20, color changes off the 20. When I have a wide state, I pull my tool bags, the things that work from wide states. I've got a narrow state. I pull the tool bag out that works, the tools that work for narrow states. But you've got to be able to first, step one, determine the state of the stock. This is the first step in an 8-step process. Okay, let's get back. All right, so make sure you have a picture of my little funky drawing here. All right, snapshot or something. All right, let's go. Here is Coinbase. All right, 2-minute chart of Coinbase. Everything's going to be a 2-minute chart, guys. Now, guys, look at the beauty of this narrow state to the left. Are you kidding me? I couldn't even draw the narrow state better than that. Look at how flat the 200 is. Look at how flattish the 20 is, and look at how relatively close they are. And this is the first bar of the morning. Boom! It's power out of a narrow state. All right? Now, you can get, guys, power out of a narrow state up, or you can get power out of a narrow state down. Whenever you ignite in a powerful way out of a narrow state, you buy into the power. If it's to the upside, you short or you sell into the power to the downside. All right, now let me draw this again. Let me draw this again so you get it. Here is your narrow state. We don't know which side of the narrow state Coinbase is going to blast out from. We need to wait for that. So this hasn't happened yet. We don't know this yet. But if Coinbase breaks out of its narrow state powerfully like this, we're going to buy that bar. Boom! If it starts off out of the narrow state with power red to the downside, we're going to pile into that power red bar to the downside. Okay? But we don't know yet. But you don't have to know. We don't have to know what's going to happen. Boom! We just wait for it to happen. Here's my first bar. Now, guys, look. Here's how the first bar forms, right? First, it forms with the open. So when it opens, we automatically know, boom, it's exploding to the upside. Now, I need to see power. I know the direction now. It's above the narrow state. I need to see green. So what happens is that first, let me do this in stages. This is the way I want to lay it out for you. Do it in stages like this. So the first thing we see is, whoa, Coinbase opens out of the narrow state to the upside. It doesn't open down. It opens up right there. Now we need to see green from there. So what happens is that the green starts to grow. Uh-oh, I'm starting to get green. Uh-oh, you start to rub your hands together, but that's not enough green. We need power green. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Now saliva starts to drip down the corners of your mouth. You put your hands on your keyboard or your mouse. I hope you're not trading with a mouse. Professionals trade with a keyboard. All right. You put your fingers on your buy button. All right. You're getting ready. Boom! That's enough green for me. I don't need to see any more. I don't need any more proof. Boom! I'm buying there 2 lots. I'm going to protect myself under the power. We'll get to protection later, but I'm giving it to you now. We're going to protect. Boom! Once I'm in, I protect myself under the power. Yes. You see how powerful that is? So we knew that from a narrow state, you're going to eventually break out above or break out below. We don't know which direction, but whichever one happens is good with us. But we need not just the open above or below, we need to start seeing the power color develop. You don't need a tremendous amount of it. You just need enough to be convinced this is truly institutional power. Boom! Now, look at your first color change. Do you see the first color change? You see the first red here? Let me get rid of this here. Boom. You see that first red? You're going to add to your position on the first color change. So this was your initial entry, but you're going to always add on the first color change. Write that down. You're looking to get into every play twice. The initial entry and the color change add. The power entry, I call this the power entry, and the color change add. I'm going to say it again. Power change entry, next color change add. Power change entry. So it goes like this. Power bar entry, protection, color change add. I'm going to do it again. Power bar entry, let's say 2, protection, color change add. I tend to add half of my initial buy. So if I bought 2, I'm going to play 1. If I bought 1, then I'm just going to do another 1 because we don't do halves. So if I bought 4, I'm going to do 2. All right? So I want you to think about the formula that we're forming. Power entry, protection. Let me get that right. Stop, protection. Color change add. We're building out this formula. These are the steps every single time. All right, now let's take a look at another example. All right, guys, notice the narrow state. Always the first thing you see, the first thing I need you to look at, what's the state of the 20 and the 200? What's the state of it? Are they relatively flat and are they relatively close? Relatively flat, close, narrow state. This is more wide. All right? But here, we're narrow state. Now, what do you do off a narrow state? You, boom, your power bar, color change. Boom. Power bar. Boom. Color change. So here's the formula again. Power bar entry above the narrow state. Protection. Now, guys, in this case, my protection is not going to be under the bar. My protection in this case is going to be under the narrow state. I don't want to be under the bar if the stop out is right at the narrow state. So if the bar is up here and I'm entering, then my stop is there because the narrow state is here. But if my bar is right at the narrow state, I need my stop under the entire state. Okay? So in this case, follow the formula. Power bar entry above the narrow state. My stop is under the narrow state. Okay? Color, 2 lots. Color change entry, 1 lot. This is not the full formula. We're building the formula. And you're going to follow these steps every single time. Power bar entry, protection, color change add. Power bar entry, protection, color change add. You know what? I'm sorry. I need to see this. I need to see it. I need to see you say it for me. All right? Say the formula up until this point, guys. Power bar entry, protection, or stop. Power bar entry, stop, color change add. Power bar entry, stop, color change, add. All right, you got it? Power bar entry, stop, color change, add. You got this part of the formula so far. Somebody say it for me. Somebody say it. I want to see your comments. Power bar entry, stop, color change, add.